Real estate for me was always the goal. I saw the value in it. My grandpa moved here from Greece. He worked, he was in construction, and he was getting whatever would have been minimum wage at the time, which was nothing compared to today. And he just saved his money and bought real estate and ended up buying 3 properties in what became a very good location. No matter what happened in life, he had that safety net. So that was really what pushed me towards real estate. I saw him do that, and I said, if he can do that, someone that came here with no money, I should be able to do that, because he set me up pretty well. So that was probably my first step into real estate. And then watching my dad, who then became a realtor now 25, 30 years ago, whatever that number is, I've really grown up in real estate my whole life. Now I've been licensed for about 7 years. Initially, when you start, no one knows you. Why would they work for you? So I really spent the first few years of my real estate journey really with my boots on the ground. I was in property management and managed 100 doors. I closed hundreds of leases. I've dealt with everything from tenant and landlord relations, whatever it is, breaking down, floods, water repair, roof repair, whatever, you name it, I've had to deal with it. And that's really where I gained most of my experience. Elevate really fit with my background. So I have a degree in economics and finance, and the way we look at deals is a lot different than most brokerages. Looking at it from a financial perspective and on the micro level, taking every deals and comparing them on the market, instead of just being a general tour guide, really understanding what the product that I'm selling is very important to me. The other factor is having the property management, leasing team, and sales team all working very close together. It makes the process really seamless for myself and my clients. So being part of that initial property management team, it just moves so smoothly now. It wouldn't really make much sense to be anywhere else. Most of my clients do take on quite considerable projects, and that's where a lot of the value add potential on properties is. I myself have taken on one project like that, where you buy at an extreme discount, and you can actually somewhat predict what the value will be after you do a certain amount of renovations. So sometimes you can double your renovation budget in value added on the property, which is huge. One of the biggest assets that you do have from working with us is that we have a long list of contractors. So if you need a roofer, if you need a waterproofer, if you need HVAC guy, you name it, we have probably multiple contacts in every single trade. A couple years back, Phil, one of our other realtors, was working on a deal. At the time in the market, it was a little bit slower, and this deal really stood out. There was a really high cash flow and really good potential on that property. But once it was locked up, things happened in the situation where the client couldn't close on the property. And we managed to work together with our contacts and found somebody else who saw the value in the property and really took it. And it ended up being probably the deal of that year. And without this close of a team and having the large list of clients that we have, that wouldn't have been able to happen. I have a ton of hobbies on the side. So when I was really into F1, I was wearing a Mercedes hat of the race team during one of the showings. This is when the market was extremely hot and there was 10 plus offers on every property. In the showing, the sellers were home and they saw my hat and they said, "Oh, you're an F1 fan." And we were talking about Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes and how they're big fans of him as well. During the offer presentation, there were multiple offers on the property, but they remembered me because I had that hat, and we made that relationship. We ended up winning the offer presentation, and they were like, "We want to work with this guy. This is the agent that we like." Ever since 2020, the real estate market has been a little bit less predictable than the last 20 years. There was an annual 7-8% growth of house prices in Toronto. So it was fairly easy to predict what would happen every year. And then 2020 happened and COVID happened, and things changed a lot. And there was a lot more uncertainty and fear, and the market reacted very strangely on short periods of time. So there was times where 20-30% increases in house prices, and then times it fell by 10-15%. So that has been the biggest learning experience I've had. You also learn that the defensive strategy of investing is actually by far, in my opinion, the best way to do it, because you weathered the storm during those years. Your interest rate maybe went from 3% to 7% at times, or even 1.5% to 7% at times. Defensive investing will really save you in those moments. So it's really important. And I'm happy that that's what type of investing that I've been promoting. My one main piece of advice would be to hit the road with a knowledgeable realtor and go see as many properties as possible. Go see 10, 15 at a time. And it really helps you narrow down what you're actually looking for, or if you even want to buy real estate, because what they're looking for actually changes over time. So it's really good to see a lot of properties, as many as possible, and really get a sense of what you're actually looking for. One misconception I would say is that to buy a property under $1 million, you need to go an hour or two away from Toronto, but that's actually not true anymore, especially with where prices have gone. There's been properties that have been selling in the $800,000 range and even less. I've seen a couple that were $700,000 range in Toronto. So you don't have to go that far away to buy for that price. A lot of people get stuck in analysis paralysis as well, and they try to time the market. And that's the question I get probably the most is now the best time to buy, or when should I buy? Should I wait 6 months? And it's really hard to predict that. And you can get stuck in like a negative feedback loop of, oh, I think now's a good time, but now I just heard this on the news and maybe it's not the best time and I'll wait. And then you wait and things go up. There's so much unpredictability. I try not looking in the short term or medium term too much because it's really hard to predict. I try to make a really good deal in today's market at all times. And if you continue to do that and buy, a top 15% deal that's on the market all the time, or a top 10% deal that's on the market all the time, you'll be in a better situation than by waiting. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Spiro Vrysellas.
The other way.
You know where to find me. It's this way, right?
Yeah.
Look at this. Spiro Vrysellas. It's right here. Right, Sam? You put it up?
Yeah,
okay.
I'll put it up there.